has taken over.
Let's go.
It's Ferrall.
Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money.
It's Ferrall, coast to coast.
You're going to want to get the SportsGrid app on iOS or Android in the Play Store. It's free. It's unbelievable. It's great. It's got the TV side on it, the radio side on it. Follow your favorite hosts like Carver High. And it's got in-game odds, you name it, stories, videos. It's all there on the SportsGrid app. Get it free today. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. Hey, did you know we're streaming on X every day, always, including right this very second at SportsGrid-Live. You can get the Ferrall Coast to Coast and Ferrall on a Bench podcast, both shows, every day, Monday through Friday on Apple, iTunes, or wherever you download podcasts. Let's take a look at the lineup tonight on SportsGrid TV. At 6, it's Front Office Sports Today. At 6:30, it's GTD Game Time Decisions with the Kevin Walsh. At 8, it's In-Game Live, the original OG with tonight, Scott Wetzel and my boy Dane Martinez, Spittin' Speeds. At 10, it's Sports Rage with the Prime Minister, Cam Stewart, in for Morency. And joining him is the old blue liner, George Kurtz. On SportsGrid Radio at 8, it's The Institution, Carver and Lisi. Tonight, all of that on SportsGrid TV and SportsGrid Radio. We get into hour 2. It's good to have you with us. We're in New York City. I'm Ferrall with Carver High, and he's still talking baseball.
We've had to put an APB out for Joe. He's got all kinds of problems trying to get out of Louisiana. So he went and took his daughter. His daughter's going to be going to LSU this fall. So I guess he went there to, I don't know, orientation, bring her. I don't know what was going on. So he went with her down there a couple of days ago. Was supposed to come home last night, so he didn't do the show with me the last 2 nights. The Blue Liner did on Carver and Lacey. So he was supposed to come back. Flight canceled. Flight delayed. This morning, flight canceled. The guy's caught. He's been to like 4 hotels. The first 3 didn't have any room for him. He's having a tough time down in Louisiana trying to get home. So
sounds like she's really going to have a great time in Baton Rouge.
Baton Rouge is where he had a great time there. He hasn't had a great time since he left, trying to get home from the New Orleans airport.
I think they got the number 1 player in high school football to commit to LSU today.
They did. And I'm sure Kelly will find a way to screw that up.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Let's go finish this up, and then we'll get to tonight's games. Here's the AL Cy Young. Of course, look, with a lot of these, there's heavy favorites. Scooble is now hit the minus 420 range. Garrett Crochet, Hunter Brown, Jacob deGrom.
Yeah, I'm going to put Hunter Brown on the shelf because I saw that guy, what was it? It was Tuesday night, or I think it was Wednesday night, last night. This guy got lit up. When was it? Last night that he got lit up?
Tuesday night was Hunter Brown's game.
Oh, my God, did he get lit up? I mean, he got lit up like it was his worst outing of the year. He got torched. Everyone hit him. He gave up a ton of runs. I'm going to take him off that list. And I'm going to move deGrom ahead of him. Everybody goes up ahead of him. Everyone moves up ahead of him. And there's no way that I'm going to give Davy Crockett the nod over Tariq Skubal. And I'll say one word, changeup. That guy's off-speed hook changeup is unhittable. And when he throws it, it's an automatic strike, automatic out, swing and a miss. No one can touch him. He strikes out 10 or more every time he pitches. He gives up no runs. He's the best pitcher, perhaps in baseball. I mean, he's already won the Cy Young. He is the best pitcher in the game. And there's no way I'm giving it to Crochet because he's having a good season in Boston. That doesn't cut it for me with the, good season. Congratulations. You've done it. Yay. Let's all get him a cold beer. But the other guy is the most dominant pitcher in the game, and that includes Skeens. I mean, Skeens never wins, thanks to the Pirates. But Scooble's leading a team that's going to the playoffs, and they're going to be dangerous with that guy on the hill. If you face him in a postseason game, you're losing.
I'd take a cold beer now if they were available.
You know what I mean? Like, just like we should have really on draft here on the show, which I'm a little surprised that we don't.
Especially in the summer.
For my entire career, I poured beers on the air. Everyone knows it. And then they took that away from me, too. They ruin everything. I mean, they are worse than umps and refs. The people that run TV and radio, they run it into the ground is what they do. You got to have fresh beer on tap on a sports show, always.
Speaking of Skeens, let's see where he is this week. Of course, we got a good race. Unlike the other awards so far, this is going to be a good race. Wheeler's ahead of him on the big board now by a little bit. So Wheeler and Skeens, that'll be back and forth all summer long. Those are the two candidates for the NL Cy Young.
You know, for my money, I'm going to put Abbott and Costello and Robbie Ray ahead of Logan Webb, and I'm still, you know, I'm upset at Skeens' teammates. If it wasn't for them, he'd be in the lead for the Cy Young because he's as good or better than Wheeler as far as I'm concerned. The difference is that Wheeler plays on a winner and Skeens plays on the ultimate loser. I mean, they are bottom feeders every year without fail. And I have been a Pirate fan my entire life. And my kids are Pirate fans. The whole it's depressing. I mean, being a Pirate fan is like having an ugly girlfriend. It really is. You can't go anywhere with her. I mean, I am not nice. Pirates absolutely are hairdryer city. I can't have it. It's torture. It's every year for since 1979. Now, even when they made the playoffs and the 3 or 4 times that they did, they lost. Every time they've never done a thing ever. It's been since 79. That's the bottom. Do you know the disco 70s? That's where we're at here, folks. You know, the only Dave King, Cobra dies, Dave Parker, they have nothing. Yeah. They literally have nothing good happens to them ever. They get this guy Skeens. He's the best player in college baseball. They get him, and within 2 years, the guy needs a shrink. He's so depressed. He's eating pills. Honestly, he's on everything. Xanax. I mean, they got to give him everything to get him out of bed. I mean, his girlfriend's leaving him. She can't even. She tried to buy Babe Ruth's house, and she couldn't even get that done. Pirates are such bad luck. I was just gonna say.
Did you see that his lady friend tried to buy Babe Ruth's apartment in New York City, and I guess the tenants in the building told her, no thanks. Find somewhere else. We don't want you here. Livy Dunn told her she can't live in the apartment.
Well, they must be stupid because if I got a chick that hot living in my property, I'm loving life. I'd be like, yeah, whatever you need, honey. Is the water cold? Do you need me to fix your dryer? What do you need? Food delivered? I'll deliver it in person. Get her a drink.
I mean, you get Skeens hanging around the building too. I mean, you get Paul in there,
and they don't want him. They don't want him because he's a loser.
Well, maybe one day he's going to need an apartment in New York.
Is DJ LeMahieu after his wife divorces him.
Oh, now that he's been cut. DJ's had a rough go the last couple of days. What a shame.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
to two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity. I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this once?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that rim. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of 15.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Did you know sportsbooks tend to draw up tighter bet lines for events that get even more bettors, like championship games or major matchups? My tip? Try betting on less popular sports. You might have a better shot at beating those odds. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
All right, so let's talk about some of the replacements. Every day there's more of them added to the list.
Yeah, and the majority have been from the American League side, more yesterday. So Jose Ramirez of the Guardians basically said, I need a rest. I don't want to go. So he's out. He was supposed to start. Itzhak Paredes of the Astros will take his place. Hunter Brown is pitching on Sunday, so that way he's not allowed to pitch in the game. That means Joe Ryan from the Twins gets to go in. And Jeremy Pena is hurt and not playing either. So Zach McKinstry of the Tigers will take his place. Your boy Zach getting involved this at the All-Star game. Congratulations to all of them. They get their bonus. And Rooker will be in the home run derby. Your boy Brent Rooker from the A's. I'm excited for that. There's so many guys that I like in the home run derby. I can't wait to see the odds to see who we're going to have to single out here, because we already want O'Neal Cruz. I told you yesterday how much I love the guy Caminero from the Rays.
Caminero, yeah.
Now Rooker's in this too. So lots of guys that are favorites of mine.
Are you starting to lean Caminero or Rooker over O'Neal Cruz?
Well, we're going to play O'Neal Cruz no matter what. Whatever the number is, we're going to play him. I feel like we're going to get a better number on Caminero than Rooker. I think Rooker will be one of the, judging by who's in it so far, I think Rooker would be in the top half of favorites, if I had to guess right now. We still don't know who two guys are going to be. They're still trying to fill out the rest of the slots. So is Buxton
still in it with his hand contusion?
He's still in for now, but that's another slot that potentially could open up if he can't go on Monday night with it. So, I think the Wood Doctor is going to be a big favorite too. Everyone loves the Wood Doctor. And Acuna being in Atlanta, he's going to probably get a lot of gas also for being the favorite for the home run derby. We have got games tonight. Let's roll. In fact, two of them, forget tonight, two of them start at the top of the hour. Here in baseball. Game 2 of a doubleheader at Camden between the Mets and the Orioles. Brandon Don't Call Me Don Waddell is the opener for the Mets today. as they'll have a bunch of guys throwing. He's, of course, one of the guys in their bullpen. And Sagano will go for the Orioles. Minus 125 for the Mets, plus 105 for Baltimore, and a 10.5. Big total.
I got to lean Mets in the second game because they lost the first game, to be honest with you. I don't care who's pitching. And in fact, the high number tells me there's going to be all kinds of pitchers in this game.
Yeah, definitely could be. The Marlins and the Reds will finish off their series in Cincinnati as the Marlins are looking to take 3 out of the 4. Our pal Cal Quantrill against Nick Lodolo this evening. Minus 165 for the Reds, plus 140 for the Fish, and a 9.5.
So I bet it on the run line, Reds minus a 1.5. And how about this? I got it at plus 115. It's up to plus 125 if they can win by 2 runs as of now.
Wow, how about that? Yeah, look, they've got the better guy going. That Quantrill, I could see him getting lit up by Ellie and the Reds in about an hour from now. Mariners and the Yankees. Yankees looking for the sweep. And they will have Marcus Stroman on the mound trying to do it. Brian Wu, he'll be in Atlanta next week in the All-Star game. He'll start for the M's, who are a slight road favorite. Minus 115 right now. Minus 105 Yankees and a 9.5.
So I bet the Yankees early this morning, and I got them at plus 105. And now it's, minus 106 or something to that effect. But I bet the Yankees and Stroman the showman to get it done, and they sweep the series.
I told you earlier, big 4-gamer at Fenway to end the first half for the Red Sox and the Rays. It'll be Taj Bradley and Walker Buehler in tonight's contest. Red Sox, slight favorite, minus 115, minus 105 for the Rays, and a 9.5.
I bet it this morning at minus $1.02. I took the Red Sox.
I like the Red Sox tonight also, and I like that total. Up, and away for that one this evening. Guardians and the White Sox will play 4 in Chicago to finish off the first half. Logan Allen and Jonathan Cannon tonight. Minus 125 for Cleveland. Plus 105 for Chicago and an 8.5. Man, that seems like a pretty small number, right? For a White Sox game. That's a pretty light number.
Yeah, I don't know, though. They stink, so I don't see them scoring runs, to be honest with you. Like, they won last night, 2-1, right? They finally won a game. So I actually, I'm still on Cleveland. They just won 3 in a row for me. I cashed tickets twice. I'm going to bet them at minus 120 to beat the White Sox at Comiskey. As you know, we call it Comiskey starting yesterday, moving forward.
Right.
We will not call it Rate Field under any circumstance whatsoever. We're going back to the old days of Harry Carey and Comiskey Park with the shower in center field.
It has now reached the same status here as the place the Steelers play. We refuse to call that by whatever the hell they call it now.
We refuse to call it that.
Refuse to call it that. So
company.
now it's just the place the Steelers play. Is what it's now been known as since last year. Washington and St. Louis one more time. Soroka and Mikolas. Man, he got rung up by the Cubs last weekend. Minus 145 for the Redbirds, plus 120 for the Nats, and an 8.5.
Now, honestly, here's a game I can sink my teeth into on an over. Both of these guys give up runs. I'm going to take the Cardinals to bounce back with Mikolas tonight and the over.
All right. I've got 3 games on the left coast tonight that we will do when we come back. And, of course, some long balls because we have to go big fly this evening. We've got some really big totals out there, so hopefully
I bet on 2 of
that's
these
going
games.
To translate. Okay. We will find out which ones when we come back. Same 3 we've had the last few nights. Out on the left coast for the late starts.
I love betting those West Side stories. That's all there is to it.
playing online blackjack and want to try upping your odds? Well, here's a tip. Cheat cards tell you statistics for whether you hit or stand on every move. If you're into stats, this could be your ticket to winning. And it is totally legal. Now, go get lucky. See you in Lost Pages. Let's get lucky.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity. I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this one?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that ring. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
Just a little flyer, couple of 18.5 point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
All right, the three remaining West Side stories tonight in baseball, plus the Taters.
Yes, of course. We'll finish with the West Coast games. We'll go back to Sacramento, where the first night the A's smashed the Braves. Last night the Braves smashed the A's. And now we'll see what happens tonight. Spencer Strider and J.P. Sears and Roebuck, minus 185 for Atlanta, plus $1.55 for the A's, and another 10.5.
I like the over 10.5, and I like Strider and the Braves tonight. I think he's certainly a better pitcher than Sears and Roebuck.
He is. And I could see the Braves teeing off on Sears and Roebuck tonight in a big way. He gives up lots of taters. Rangers and Angels again in Anaheim. Patrick Corbin and the great Jack Kokanowitz. Minus 115 for the Angels, minus 105 for the Rangers. And a 9.5. Man, I want to light the match again with these two, Scotty, just like last night. Tee it high and let it fly. Over.
Yeah, I bet the over 9.5 at minus 115 this morning in this Angel Ranger game at the Big A. So that's a done deal. Go over.
And finally, Arizona and San Diego will finish up their 4-gamer at Petco. Make sure you get the ice cream and a helmet. Eduardo Rodriguez and Randy Vasquez tonight. Arizona minus 125. Friars the home dog at plus 105 and an 8.5.
Yeah, so both of these pitchers have had their problems, no doubt about it. And I bet I went 3 straight on the Diamondbacks, right? And I lost that game 1-0. And then last night they hit again for me and kicked their ass. I'm going Friars tonight. I bet it this morning at plus 105. It's held steady all day. I'll take Vasquez and the Friars tonight at Petco and see if I can get a little plus money change.
A little plus money change for them. Why not? And make it happen. All right. How about some big flies this evening?
Taters.
Here. Tater time on a Thursday night. Big fly. Big fly. All right. We'll start with the Wood Doctor. I know that he did it last night. Well, he'll do it again against this Mikolas. Now, Mikolas he's given up 9 homers in his last 3 starts. Now, that's a little skewed, Scotty, because 6 of them were against the Cubs at Wrigley on the 4th of July. I know that was a little weather-rated, but still. He's been giving up a lot of long balls. We'll take the Wood Doctor at plus 390 in St. Louis tonight. I told you I really like that over in Anaheim. I'm going two-bagger there. Hoppy against Corbin at plus 400. And then give me the Bacon Burger at plus 425 against Kokanowitz to go yard on the Texas side of things. So let's get a lot of long balls out in Anaheim. I love this price for Tatis tonight against Eduardo Rodriguez, who's given up a lot of homers so far this year. Plus 425 for Fernando. And Wilyer Abreu is getting hot again. He had a hot streak earlier in the year, went on the IL for a bit, and he's starting to tune it up again. Hit one last night. I'm going with him again with Taj Bradley in the house at Fenway. Plus 475. That's a stupid number for Abreu. I'm in, Scotty.
Yeah, I'm all for it. And I think there'll be more blasts. Machado, the Crone Zone in Petco. And I wouldn't be surprised your boy Roman Candle hits one out at Fenway tonight as well.
Well, there's two games, as you could tell, that I don't have anybody from. And that's really just because the prices are pretty watered down, and that's the Yankee-Mariner game. I think you could probably get, even some Mariner guys against Stroman. Especially I kind of like that Canzone for him. The Dominic Canzone has got a nice number. And the
Reina again. I told you he'd hit one.
In Sacramento. So, look, I think you get plenty, but the numbers are silly. I mean, it's like Austin Riley's like plus 195 tonight. There's just some really low numbers for the Braves and the A's. But that's why they invented parlays. We could put a couple small parlays together for the late-night home run games in Sacramento. There you go, long balls on a Thursday. Let's get it. All right, after you talk to Adam, I told you that I would move it up in the show, and I did today. I got all the talking season for you from Big 12 Media Days. I mean, we got Dion, Kenny Dillingham, Gundy, Scott Frost, Rich Rodriguez, plenty of guys from this week as college football talking season is in full effect now. And what are they mostly talking about, Scotty? What do you think? Not about their teams, about money. That's really the main topic.
You got to pay
for all these guys.
To play football now. They need a salary cap. Ryan says they need a salary cap.
He certainly does. You'll hear from him later on here on Coast to Coast.
Playing online blackjack and want to try upping your odds? Well, here's a tip. Cheat cards tell you statistics for whether you hit or stand on every move. If you're into stats, this could be your ticket to winning. And it is totally legal. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity. I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this once? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that ring. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
Just a little flyer, couple of 15.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
always good to have the fascist back on Coast to Coast. My friend Adam Kaufman from Beantown. He's the only guy that I can even stand from there. And we try to get him on the show regularly to make sure that he's doing okay. He's got a lot of children. He's under a lot of stress. You see him on SportsGrid all the time. I'll tell you what, the Red Sox don't have any stress right now. They've been playing fabulous baseball. And we're sitting here, you heard us betting on guys Abreu, Roman Candle, and I'm even in on some Duran for some action tonight against this righty Bradley. The Rays finally won a game last night, but they have not been playing well. And the way the Red Sox have been playing, kicking everyone's ass and scoring 10 runs a game, I mean, I've been betting on them left and right.
Well, as you should be, and riding the run line, obviously, throughout the stretch of games that they just played. But look, I don't want to be the Debbie Downer to this thing, especially with this beautiful Boston backdrop behind me. But I don't think we can talk about the Red Sox success, Scotty, without at least acknowledging the reality of who they've been playing. They're 8-1 over their last 9, and that's awesome. Win the games that are on your schedule. That is the most important thing. But they've played Cincinnati, who is the dictionary definition of mediocre, and they've played Washington and Colorado, a team in the Rockies that is historically bad. Washington is flat out terrible, but the Rockies are historically bad. So the Red Sox should be putting up, whatever it is, 10 runs a game and have 18 homers over their last 9 games. And, I just pulled up some last 9 stats, just to give us the perfectly small sample size. They're hitting 340. The OBP is close to 400. The slugging is up over 600. So obviously, you put the OPS together there, that's right around 1,000. I mean, they are tearing the cover off the ball, and mostly at Fenway Park. Again, doing what they are supposed to do. But whereas this Rays team is, not great, like I wouldn't be afraid of them in contention for the American League East or something like that, but they are better than any of what the Red Sox just saw over the last week and a half. So, I wouldn't go crazy betting on Boston tonight. In fact, I like Taj Bradley enough to say maybe Tampa first 5 is the play, even if you believe the Red Sox are going to ultimately win this game. I do like Tampa first 5. As far as some of those home run props, I mean, look, there's numbers that go into it, and there's data, and there's hard hit contact rate, and all of these fly ball rate, all the things. Like, I get it. But at the end of the day, there's still kind of a crapshoot too. So, I don't know. I would say tread carefully, and let's not, overemphasize what Boston has done of late to put itself now into a playoff position just before the All-Star break.
Well, they had 15 hits last night, and they've had at least 11 hits in the last 7 games. I mean, if you're paying money to go to Fenway to see the Red Sox, and they're greasing that many hits, and the home runs were flying last night, right? Narvaez, Abreu, Romy, Duran, they all hit them. Roman's been finally hitting one out at home. He hadn't hit one until just the other day. What do you think of him? And can you imagine, if I'm a fan, I want to go see them right now the way they've been hitting.
Yeah, I mean, look, Cedar Rafaela has sort of become the of late Rafael Devers equivalent, right? He's been tearing the cover off the ball since Devers got traded, basically. Trevor Story, who, people wanted to DFA, designate for assignment not long ago, now has had an incredible stretch since the beginning of June, basically. He has been awesome. So, look, guys have come alive, and obviously you mentioned Roman Anthony, who's he was the number 1 prospect in baseball up there anyhow, and obviously top in the farm system, and comes in, and after a little bit of a slow start, he's hitting well. And, you get, some of these other younger guys, whether it's Marcelo Meyer or, obviously Jarren Duran, who's been around for a little while, a guy that, we wonder around here if he's about to get traded before the deadline, but that's a whole other thing.
Do you think he is? Do you think he's going? Like, the rumor was San Diego. It's not a bad place to get traded to.
No, I mean, that's where the old Red Sox broadcaster Don Orsillo basically got traded to. Look, Duran is a fringe all-star. He was an all-star last year. He's a guy that is certainly capable. He's a good hitter. He's a guy to build around. But the problem is, Scotty, especially in the wake of the Devers trade, there are a lot of people around here, and I would wonder, honestly, internally in those baseball operations offices there at Fenway, people wonder what the direction is for this team. It's really hard, and it's not like the Red Sox are unique in this way. Other organizations kind of, periodically, year to year, it depends, try and do this as well. But it's really hard to thread that needle between buyer and seller, to try and do both. Now, there was more to getting rid of Devers than it was, selling, quote unquote. It wasn't just a salary dump, although that's a big part of it, even in this uncapped sport. It was, they wanted to find a new leader, get off of his attitude, his laziness, his, high superiority that he had in a lot of different ways. There are a lot of components to, again, wanting to shed that deal, but you also got rid of a pretty valuable bat and one of the best hitters in baseball in the process. And again, a lot of guys have, in the aggregate, as they would say in Moneyball, filled the role of late, but against terrible teams. The Red Sox have this stretch coming up here leading into the break where, obviously it's just Tampa for 4, but coming out of the break, the schedule is going to get a little bit more challenging. And at that point in time, are you still raking? Are you still, improving your run differential? You still getting good performances out of the starting pitching staff? Or was this just kind of lightning in a bottle against bad teams? And that is going to ultimately determine whether this team is, a true threat to be a playoff team for one. I don't think it's going to win the division, even though it's only 5.5 back right now. Too many teams to leapfrog, and I think the Yankees ultimately would have to really screw this thing up to not win it. But man, it's a crowded top of the American League.
So let's talk about the Celtics. They're playing Friday and Sunday. Sunday they play the Knicks in Vegas. I think they, play Friday as well. I think that's the first game that they play out in Sin City. What's the reaction to, the Tatum torn Achilles? People have already said that the Knicks are going to go to the NBA Finals, and meanwhile they fired their coach. And when he went down and when Halliburton went down, it opened the door for the Knicks allegedly. And then they traded Porzingis. What's the fallout from all this?
Well, it's, they don't like to use the word rebuild around here, but it's definitely a recalibration of, what they're doing financially. They knew, independent of Jason Tatum's injury, that there were some very difficult financial conversations that were going to be coming up this offseason in terms of getting under that dreaded second apron and wanting to avoid all of these additional tax penalties. I won't bore you with all the minutia of the collective bargaining agreement, obviously, but there, it's just the new harsh reality of the NBA that you can only be a repeat offender in terms of the luxury tax and first apron, second apron, X number of times before you got to really decimate your roster potentially to cut costs. And the Celtics found themselves in a place where they didn't want to be in the repeater tax as a second apron team again. And so that meant having to get off of, especially Drew Holiday, who obviously they traded away to Portland. He had a lot of money remaining on the few years left on his deal. And Kristaps Porzingis, who you brought up, who went to Atlanta, they could have, kept him around as an expiring deal and decided to move off the money elsewhere. But as it was, they got rid of those two guys to barely get under the second apron. And they're still over the first apron, which is why they're talking about maybe Anthony Simons, who they acquired in the Holiday deal. Could he be traded away? Could George Niang, who came over from the Hawks, be traded away? Could Sam Hauser still be? We don't expect Al Horford's going to re-sign. Luke Cornett's already gone. So it's definitely a year to take a lot to.
Adam's in charge of the Tom Brady statue unveiling, by the way.
I say, you crank that Soldier Boy, right? You Darvish back on the mound. Haven't seen this guy in a minute right now. Yeah, man, crank it, man. Get it going up. Hit the high. Yeah, let's go. Crank that Soldier Boy up here. Yep. Yeah, I mean, come on, man. That was big back then. Where were you? Senior high school? Or maybe even in grade school?
Bar mitzvah slate. in the bar mitzvah
Wow.
slate each and
Did
every
it hit the
weekend.
bar
The young
mitzvahs?
Benny Steve was out there hitting it.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Tony Gwynn had 107 career at-bats against Greg Maddux. Never struck out once.
Oh, that's nuts.
In 107 times. 107. Cam, if you took the modern player and said, are you going to face Maddux 107 times in a row? Like Vlad Guerrero Jr. and these guys, they'd strike out like 62 times type thing.
Exactly.
They'd be like 80 times. They'd be like whiffing.
Sports Rage tonight, only on SportsGrid.
Scrounge out a couple of quarters from under the couch to go trade for somebody who actually makes some money. I don't think that he would actually do that. That's not in Hal's style the last couple of years, especially in season. I saw they signed that Heimer Candelario, who the Reds released. That's more their style, going the discount aisle as opposed to trading for someone who's actually having a huge year like Suarez.
Ferrall Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
I would be looking to get him in dynasty or keeper leagues. If I'm out of a league and I'm looking to rebuild for the next years ahead, that's where I'm looking. Yuri Perez is a special young pitcher that we're going to be talking about in that Paul Skeens, in that Tariq Skubal, in that grouping of guys. I think he can be that good. He's only 22 years old. He's the boy. So you're getting a situation here where Yuri Perez eventually is going to grow into that man of a pitcher.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
There were two things I was looking forward to for today, which was the Summer League games all day, all night, and talking season on C2C with the college football season right around the corner doing push-ups. Carver High has been promising me these media days, these conference soirees, if you will, with all of the commissioners and coaches and everyone that matters talking about the future and the present. Big media days. It's talking season.
Talking season has begun. Of course, this week was the Big 12 down in Texas. Next week, the SEC. The week after, the Big 10 and the ACC. So there's a talking seasons here. And that means, like you said, the ball is almost in the air. Like, we are almost at kickoff. But first, we have to talk. And what is usually the biggest talking point when it comes to college athletics nowadays? Money, cash, paying the kids. Who's paying rent? Who's getting what? Why don't we start with Dion? This is the clip that I guess has gotten the most gas out of Big 12 Media Week. And that is, of course, Dion being asked if he thinks that college football needs a salary cap.
The top of the line player makes this. And if you're not that type of guy, you know you're not going to make that. That's what the NFL does. So the problem is you got a guy that's not that darn good, but he could go to another school and they give him $500,000, and you can't compete with that. That don't make sense. And you're talking about equality, not equality, like equal. I guess so, equality. And all you have to do is look at the playoffs and see what those teams spent. And you understand darn near why they're in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. It's kind of hard to compete with somebody who's giving $25, $30 million to a darn freshman class.
Right.
It's crazy. We're not complaining because all these coaches up here can coach their butts off and give them the right opportunity with the right players and play here and there, you'll be there. But it's what's going on right now don't make sense. And we want to say stuff, but we're trying to be professional. But you're going to see the same teams darn near at the end and with somebody who sneaks up in there. But the team that pays the most is going to be there in the end.
Well, that's the way it works. And you know what's funny is that he makes a boatload of money coaching at Colorado. I'm sure he's not crying about the money he's making per year. And then he was coaching a team with his sons on it, making all kinds of money. His quarterback son was making a fortune playing in Boulder. I don't want to hear it. Here's the deal. You know, spilled milk, okay? We have been hearing people crying after the milk was spilled since they started paying NIL money to college athletes. And all we heard about was that before that is that we need to pay these kids. We have to pay these kids. There's got to be a stipend. There's got to be, they can't even order a pizza. This is what we've been hearing for 30 years. We've been hearing they got to change college sports. So then what do? They change it. And then ever since they've changed it, all we've heard is people complain. That's all they do is complain about it. The haves and have-nots. How much, can you believe how much Ohio State's paying their team to play football? No wonder they won the title. It's real simple. You cannot have it both ways. You cannot complain about these kids not having any money and being able to survive in college on just a scholarship and an education. Now we're paying them all boatloads of money. So you can't cry about the money now. What they need to do, I agree with him that they need to have a salary cap. College sports is out of control. But you know what? You had it coming. You asked for this. You all wanted it. You were all crying for it. Well, now you got it. So swim in it.
And that's precisely what all these coaches are going to have to do. Of course, Arizona State won the Big 12 last year, made the college football playoff. Young coach Kenny Dillingham on the rise there with the Sun Devils, Scotty. It's actually pretty easy for him. He doesn't mess around on his team. You want to get paid the most? Play like it.
It's all about treating the guys on your team great. And if you treat the guys on your team great, when you get a good player, he's going to stay there. If you constantly are looking for the next best thing to replace the guys on your team, then your own guys on your team should leave. Why wouldn't they? If you're not loyal to them, they shouldn't be loyal to you. I think that's the one thing that I take a lot of pride in is, our best players are going to make the most money on our team. And if you have a problem with that, become a best player. And if you're not the best player and you want to make more money, then yeah, I'm going to help you leave. So not just to make more money, so you can play.
Fair enough. I'm not going to argue with it, but I also think this guy had a great season, and same as Cignetti at Indiana. Now, if they keep giving him all this money in Tempe, and Cignetti has all this money in Bloomington, and those, football programs are loaded with boosters giving them all this money, then they're going to be fine. But I want to see that guy without Scattaboo back it up and win all these games again in that conference. Because you know what he did? He snuck up on him. He creeped up on him. And Carver, I am not a fan of being creeped up on. Don't creep up. No. I do it all the time in my house. Wife comes around a corner and I'm there and I'm trying to move and get through and, go to watch a game and she's creeping up on me. The other day I'm in the kitchen. There's the daughter creeping up on me. I can't have teams creeping up and then they act like they're something special, like Indiana and Arizona State. They have both sucked in football since before Christ. Now all of a sudden we're supposed to be afraid of him and this Indiana team. And I went to Indiana and I told you I think he'll win 11 games once. It's not happening again. I don't care how much money they spend.
Well, but that's the biggest thing for these two guys or anyone who comes into this situation, right? Yes, they had great years last year. Arizona State and Indiana did things that hadn't been done in those places in a long time. But the only way you get the juice is now you have to do it again. And you have to keep doing it. And
good luck.
It's tough, man. That's why the Alabamas and the Ohio States and the Michigans are who they are, because they do it every year. And if you want to be mentioned in that conversation, you got to win. Now, he lost Scattaboo. He does get back quarterback Sam Levitt, who was named the Big 12 preseason offensive player of the year there at the Talking Week.
I like him. And Carver High only cares about the Irish.
The Irish.
I say, you crank that Soldier Boy, right? You Darvish back on the mound. Haven't seen this guy in a minute right now. Yeah, man, crank it, man. Get it going up. Hit the high. Yeah, let's go. Crank that Soldier Boy up here. Yep. Yeah, I mean, come on, man. That was big back then. Where were you? Senior high school? Or maybe even in grade school? Then?
Bar mitzvah slate. In the bar mitzvah slate each and every weekend. The young Benny Steve was out there hitting it.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
Tony Gwynn had 107 career at-bats against Greg Maddux. Never struck out once.
Oh, that's nuts.
In 107 times. 107. Cam, if you took the modern player and said, are you going to face Maddux 107 times in a row? Like Vlad Guerrero Jr. and these guys, they'd strike out like 62 times type thing.
Exactly.
It'd be like 80 times. It'd be like whiffing.
Sports Rage tonight, only on SportsGrid.
Scrounge out a couple of quarters from under the couch to go trade for somebody who actually makes some money. I don't think that he would actually do that. That's not in Hal's style the last couple of years, especially in season. I saw they signed that Heimer Candelario, who the Reds released. That's more their style, going the discount aisle as opposed to trading for someone who's actually having a huge year like Suarez.
Ferrall coast to coast, only on SportsGrid.
I would be looking to get him in dynasty or keeper leagues. If I'm out of a league and I'm looking to rebuild for the next years ahead, that's where I'm looking. Yuri Perez is a special young pitcher that we're going to be talking about in that Paul Skeens, in that Tariq Skubal, in that grouping of guys. I think he can be that good. He's only 22 years old. It's the boy. So you're getting a situation here where Yuri Perez eventually is going to grow into that man of a pitcher.
Fantasy sports today, only on SportsGrid.
I'm just saying, Mike, that I think Kenny's a really good coach, and he proved that. And I think that he had a special player on that team in Scattaboo, and I think that they had a great receiver who was injured at the end of the year. But for the majority of the year, like 80% of the year, they had it all going. Good quarterback, great receiver, great running back. And they had a favorable schedule, fair enough. And Indiana, same thing. Mm-hmm. Indiana only played Michigan. That was it. The rest of their schedule was candy. So I think they got afforded that luxury. So let's see them do it and people they're not going to be, unprepared for Arizona State and Indiana this year. You know what I mean? Like, if you're so good, then we're going to be ready for you. And I don't think they were ready for those teams last year in college football. And they really did creep up and bite some teams and do very well, obviously both getting in. So we'll see if they can live up to it again this year. But I love this stuff. What else you got from talking season?
Yeah, and, the one thing about Dillingham, too, he's only 35 years old. That if he keeps doing this also, some bigger school is going to come knocking on his door. That day might come for him because he's still got a long time left in the game at that age. All right, Mike Gundy of Oklahoma State. Last year, Scotty, was his worst season in his career. He's been in Stillwater for 20 years as the head coach of the Cowboys, and 3-9, his worst season. So he's got to bounce back from that. I know you remember last year he had a lot of problems with his team. Remember he had a couple kids that quit in the middle of the year because they wanted to renegotiate their NIL deals and all this. Well, Gundy says that ain't happening this year. When you show up to play football, we're playing football. Leave everything else at the door.
When we start on July 27th, two things have to go out the window. One, thinking of transferring or taking other jobs as a coach or a player. Two, the money aspect has to go to the side, because for the most part, the coaches and the players, all of us, including me, are going to be at this location until at least December. The teams that can put that to the side and the coaches that can put that to the side, concentrate on coaching and playing football and find a way to come together, in my opinion, get the best chance to win.
Okay, I'll say this about him. I think he's had a great career at Stillwater. And I think that his days are numbered. Because if they have another average season at Oklahoma State, he's getting fired. He's been there long enough. And this is what happens at the end. You go 3-9, and he follows that up with anything even 500, he's out. They're not going to keep putting up with this guy. He's been there long enough. So what it's gone stale at Oklahoma State. That's just all there is to it. The pokes and all this other nonsense. They don't matter. They don't matter anymore. And he's in charge. I think they actually missed their chance to make a change. And instead, they're going to stick with the same thing over and over again, which is what they're doing. And it's not working. I think his best days are long gone. I'm going to just say it right now. I think that he looks like a guy to me that's been around too long, to be honest.
Yeah, 20 years in one spot in anything, whether it's college
football,
football,
don't have it anymore.
Professional sports, anywhere, being the head coach somewhere for 20 years, that is not easy to do. And you're right, it might be getting a little bit stale for him. All right, we'll come back because I'm not going to start this and not finish it. We'll hear from Kalani Sitake from BYU. Now, he's got a problem, Scotty. He was supposed to have Jake Retzlaff as his quarterback, but of course, Jake is not going to be at BYU anymore after his honor code situations and his legal issues, which are now gone. But we'll hear from Sitake. Also, Scott Frost back at UCF. And what did he think of his time at Nebraska? I'll tell you about that as well.
So this Scott kid, he's gone from BYU because of his honor code and all of his accusations and charges. And then all of those lawsuits and charges were dropped. Is that about right?
Yep.
So that's correct. Is that the same thing as saying it equals he didn't do it?
But he still broke the honor code because that's premarital relations he had. Either way,
they still got rid of him. They'll regret that. Now they have no quarterback.
New to social casinos? You're in for a treat. Most online casinos offer bonus cash or coins just for signing up. That's your own little participation trophy. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
If you're betting $50 a pop, doesn't matter. But if you want to bet $2 or $3 grand each side and literally have plus 110 on both sides, not the worst way to make some money on a Sunday night.
Not at all, right? I mean, and that's amazing. I've never really watched this in real time where you see these odds fluctuate with penalty kicks going on.
In-game live only on SportsGrid.
Kalshi has been around since 2018, offering these event contract trading prediction markets where you can wager on things like the weather, whether or not Dave Portnoy is going to give a 9.0 on his next pizza review spot, and then the election, which is where they really made headlines. Election betting is technically illegal.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
You don't want a big that's camped out under the basket and clogging the lane. He provides a lot of really good defense, a lot of three-point shooting, and again, younger than Brook Lopez. It is a good match. I just don't think it moves the needle. But as we talked about to open the show, when Giannis Antetokounmpo was saying, we're not just going to sit here this year and say, oh, Dame's down, let's just take a pause year because I'd rather go try to chase a championship. So at least they're being honest and saying, we're going to make this team better.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.